He said he'll join in a second.
Okay. Perfect.
And then let me just shoot Andre a message as well. Oh no, there he is. There we go. James is in as well. Then let's get started.
All right. Yeah. So hope you guys have been going good with exams. We're gonna try to keep our meeting schedule generally like this. We're just going bi-weekly or sort of as needed. Obviously with the BOM deadline, that's like don't not have much to do until a little bit. So a little bit of a break, which is good for midterms. I just want to get started with this meeting right away. So this main thing is just me 15-20 minutes just looking ahead. And for starters, there will be a PCB workshop that we will be holding ideally during reading break, hopefully that first weekend, just so because we're changing up our design review structure a little bit. So we're giving you guys the whole reading break to work on that design review, work on your designs ahead of when we have to order parts. And that will be led by James. So there's going to be more information coming about that. James, do you have anything to add to that?
Not at this moment, no.
Yeah. So, yeah, there will be a PCB workshop, so just look out for that, probably the 9th or the 10th. And then I just wanted to talk about the design review changes. So, obviously, last design review, not the best, not the greatest, still a learning experience, but we're changing the structure up a little bit. So, we're going to be reducing the number of design reviews we have. Our next one was initially going to be on the 7th, but we moved that to the 21st after reading break. So, have the 21st, which will be all the parts that you're ordering. So, PCBs, for mech team, if they're ordering any other materials that haven't already been ordered, that will be happening. And that's essentially going to be a chance for you to present to the whole team in groups. So we're going to be splitting it up. We're going to have, I think, 4 different electrical teams that are all going to be presented together. So you guys will get a chance to work together on that. And, just a low stress environment, just making a presentation, probably about 5 minutes. And then looking ahead, so we'll have that design review will be on the 21st. Then in probably January, we'll have another design review, which will be about our physical parts. This will probably be after we've done independent testing on what needs independent testing, and then just when parts are assembled, fully ready to go, we'll have a design review of that. And then our final design review will be testing results, which will hopefully be at the end of January. And ideally, we can have a fully functioning sub by mid-February, in which that's kind of a design review, but that'll kind of be a fun event for you guys, where we can all go down to the YMCA and see our sub in action. So that's it for the design review changes. We also will be giving you a presentation format, because last time there was too much fluctuation between presentations. There wasn't enough uniform, you could say. So we'll definitely change that up. So just be on the lookout for that. I think Alexis will probably send an announcement. And yeah, is there any questions for that design review? Sorry, it was a little fast. All right, awesome. I'm gonna move on. So initially, we did have a design review planned for the 7th. However, that's been changed to an internal electrical design review, and basically some expectations for that. We're not expecting you to have fully fledged models, obviously, as the PCB workshop will be after that design review, so it doesn't make sense. However, for that, it's going to vary from project to project. So a lot of you guys' projects are PCBs, a lot of it's just coding, a lot of you have to wait for a microcontroller. So we want you guys to try and get it as ahead as possible, just so we can have a jump on any problems that may occur. So if you're making a PCB, you're dealing with a lot of electronics, this one, minimum would be a schematic. Hopefully you have a PCB, if you already are aware with good PC software. If you're already good with PCB software, ideally you'll give us a rough 3D model or something, just to talk about, nothing crazy formal, nothing crazy fancy, just straight to the point. And then, yeah, but ideally schematics. If you're working with a mech team like gripper arm torpedo, there might not be a PCB or something, but maybe you get some code written. You have some, a rough outline of the code that you're going to be working with, the control system, stuff like that, just so when the 21st comes, you're all ready to go. And then when parts come, everyone's all ready to go, and there's no stall in between parts coming, which could take a while, and us actually getting to work. So any questions on the 7th? That will probably be 6:30, or whenever we can make it. It won't be very long, probably 3-4 minutes for each part, and yeah. right? So the next thing I wanted to look into just for this meeting is it's not really mandatory, and honestly, judging by the turnout, it might not even be needed, but it was just for the reassignment of tasks and project leads. So all our project leads, they've done a great job so far. You know, they're mostly keeping in contact with David and I, just making sure that they're doing well, keeping us updated, just so we can have a whole overview of our electrical system. But if you are having issues with your project lead, please talk to them directly. Try to sort those out internally. And same thing for project leads. If you're having issues with your team, please try to speak to your team first. Try to work these conflicts out internally. Honestly, for the most part, we haven't really heard much negativity, which is a great thing to hear. And we also haven't had many members leaving, which is also a great thing to hear. So there isn't much from what we know for task reassignment or project lead reassignment. But obviously, if there is something that you need help with, then please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be here for a few minutes after the meeting. So will David. So if you want to talk also in private, you don't feel like that, we're always here. And then I just want to look ahead. So I just want to give you guys, I'm going to be working on an electrical project timeline, which will hopefully flow into a whole AUV timeline. And this will give you guys a really good idea of what to expect for your workload. So as you guys can probably tell, like the workload for clubs definitely fluctuates. This is you guys' first time being a part of a club. So with the workload fluctuating, maybe sometimes, for the BOM, you're spending 2 or 3 hours a day, looking for parts, trying to find something. But after that BOM deadline, until you're actually ordering parts, not much going on. So we're just going to try to make that timeline just so you know what to expect in terms of workload. So maybe that helps with time management, and that would definitely help us work out some delays or some members leaving because they can't manage the time. That's basically it for the agenda. Obviously, a very short meeting. Want to open it up to any questions or anything was unclear, please let me know. And obviously, if you guys want to look at the meeting minutes for this doc, then you can go to the AUV Google Drive. If you click on electrical, then organizational, it will be Elec General Meeting October 27th. And then I believe David is also recording this meeting. So if you want to go back, if you think you missed something and you don't want to ask a question right now, you can always go back and try to get some clarification. Awesome. Well, yeah, like I said, very short meeting. Obviously, not a busy time right now. So yeah, you guys are free to go. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Just one thing before everybody goes. You mentioned the programming tasks as well, since some people have programming tasks.
Yeah.
Did we specify that our programming tasks are very different to the software programming tasks?
Yeah. So
and also, if anybody does have questions about programming, they can always come to me for low-level programming tips.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Andre. Yeah. So that's another thing, just to make sure, especially if your part has a lot of programming and you're working with the software team, make sure you have that distinction worked out. Probably talk to your team lead about that. Make sure your team lead has that worked out with the software team lead, or probably just Eric, just so you know what you're doing, just so there's no confusion or overlap. Good point, Andre. Thank you. Yeah, but David, do you have anything to add?
Nope, I have nothing to add.
All right, perfect. Well, like I said, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. Good luck on any exams you might have left, and we'll stick around here probably till about 12:50 or whenever you guys need us to leave. So if you have any other questions, but yeah, you guys are free to go.
Thank you, Jevin.
Thank you.
Do we have like a rough estimate of when the parts will be arriving, or will that be included in the electrical thingy?
Yeah, so we should get our... Sorry, let me just... we'll get our funding back, our funding request by the 7th from PATH, allegedly, hopefully. And that will include if we get full funding for all of our parts that we requested or if we need to change something. If we do get that on the 7th, we'll order parts immediately between the 7th and probably 10th, and then hopefully have them by the end of reading break.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that's something Joven will include in the timeline as well.
We're gonna have a range for when everything's getting ordered, everything's getting built. Obviously, then the design review might change a little bit, but that's why we want you guys to plan ahead. We won't obviously put you guys in a position where like you're doing all your work in one night. Well, we'll try not to. But yeah.
Hey, James.
Hi, James.
Hey, James. Damn, that was
I
quick.
thought this was on Monday.
Oh, no, you're good. Damn, that was a quick meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a very quick
Joven,
meeting.
you were
I had
like
my
a
camera off, so
rocket.
Nobody could eat me. Nobody could see me eating my food.
I mean, there wasn't much to go over. Like, it was honestly just to, like, just keep attention, let them know things are still
Yeah.
coming, and then just, like,
It was good to regroup after all finals too and stuff.
yeah.